These friendly and soft-spoken artisans tend to seek a safe anchorage in their home and family. While they enjoy their personal freedom as much as any artisan, and will roam when the opportunity presents itself, they seem to value the stability and patience of a dutiful spouse, most often an SJ guardian of some sort, to help keep them from wandering off too far and for too long. Conflict in such marriages is almost inevitable, but composers will put up with a lot more interpersonal tension than the other artisans, hanging in there to keep the family intact, then will leave when the children are grown and go off to paint in the mountains. With their children, as with their mates, composers are great friends and playmates, though they can be hard to get to know, and their reserve can be a barrier to close relations. And I remember actually when I shared that particular passage with a few people that know me pretty well, including my mother, and I said, well, I pointed that out as something that's not entirely like me, because I said, I wouldn't leave my spouse to go off in the mountains, and each of the people that I said that to were like, I could totally see you doing that. And I was like, I'm like, no, that's not me. I mean, the go off in the mountains part maybe, but I wouldn't leave a spouse, just because children were grown, because I don't know. I can't see. I haven't been in that situation. I mean, my spouse left me, so I didn't have the opportunity. But I don't think I would, because I would want to go. I would want them to come with me. I mean, the go off in the mountains thing sounds good, except metaphorically, because really what I'd like to do is just drive. So it'd be more like go off on the highway. And find adventures wherever they came. But I would want a companion for that, um, the part about the children, yeah, that makes sense. My son is rapidly approaching 12 years old now, and as I say, as I record this, it's April 2011 now. I started recording these deals on the Composer type in the fall of '09. So that shows you how long I've been. But see, it's not like I was working on this nonstop. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in between. But anyway, my son's, like I said, almost 12 years old. So we're on the home stretch, you might say, in terms of him being reaching adulthood. And so far, I have no other kids. So, if that ends up being it, and I don't get, married or otherwise attached before then who knows what I'll do, at that point. In many ways, I'm kind of looking forward to that, because it feels like, that'll be when I truly have my freedom restored. And when I say things like that, it can come off as sounding like, that I'm not grateful or appreciative or enjoy, spending time with my son, which none of that's true. I value the time I get to spend with him, and really won't miss him when I don't see him as often. The times that I've been apart from him the most have been in the summer, and yeah, it feels like part of it's good that it feels like it's a break from having to kind of worry about the stresses that come about in parenting, but I do miss him, because a lot of the time he's a real fun guy to hang out with, and once he's an adult, and I really don't have as the responsibility of trying to raise him anymore, I feel like that'll be even more the case, because if he's in a mood or a mode where he's fun to hang out with, then I can do that. And if he's not, I can say, you know what, see you later, because right now I don't want to be around you. And I'll have that option. And I know probably some people that are parents would listen to me say that and think it was naive, and be like, well, you think you stop parenting at 18 or something, but it doesn't work that way. I know. I'm not saying that his 18th birthday, it's like, okay, kick you in the butt, you're out the door, and and I never have anything to do again. That's not what I mean, but it certainly does change the dynamic of the way things are. So, and I think probably my type of person is a lot more likely to see it that way than somebody who has more, the provider or the protector guardian types that are more likely to kind of feel that like lifelong obligation to their kids. And I think, it's not just the guardians that feel the way. I know my mom obviously has a great deal of that kind of feeling herself. And she's an idealist type. She's an INFJ. But I think probably, I guess the utilitarian types, the artisans and the rationals, are more likely to view it as, as your parent. I'm not going to say don't ever speak to me again. I guess maybe some of them do, but I'm also not going to view it as I have this lifelong obligation to be your guide and your trainer, anymore, because I sort of reach a point where I've fulfilled my basic responsibilities, and anything you get beyond that is a bonus. So, that's the way I view it anyway, and I know that over the course of the next 6 years or so, that there will be plenty of experiences up and down the roller coaster that may shape and mold my view on that as we go forward. My number one thing when it comes to Morgan is making sure that he has opportunities, and when I have those kind of teachable moments, I try to take advantage of those whenever I can, just, despite the fact that he doesn't want to listen to me, and won't probably for the entirety of his, the rest of his childhood and teenagerhood and all that. And if he's like me, it probably won't be until mid to late 20s when he reaches a point where he can appreciate anything that I've told him. Because that's about the time that I started to appreciate all the stuff that my mom did for me and told me. But anyway, I thought that one part was funny about the going off in the mountains and all that. And I'm going to make one more break here and then close with talking about that last part about being hard to get to know and that stuff. So I'll do that in the next one.